In today's episode, we'll cover the rich history and enduring appeal of the Old Fashioned cocktail, how to make a classic Old Fashioned, creating a Jalisco Old Fashioned using tequila, the recipe for an Oaxaca Old Fashioned with Repos Ado tequila and mezcal, and finally, the steps to make a refreshing whiskey sour. We want to thank Bartender's Secret Sauce for providing us with information on the history of the Old Fashioned and the drink recipes. Although Bartender's Secret Sauce has provided us with a sample of their product, they have not paid us to endorse them or any of their products. The Liquortainment Inc. podcast is all about celebrating the DIY home bar spirit. We'll be diving into the nitty-gritty of turning your garage or basement into a dream bar, from picking out glassware, bar accessories, and things needed to set the mood of your bar, to learning about cooling, heating, soundproofing, lighting, and more. But it's not just about the physical space. We'll also be exploring delicious, yet easy-to-prepare cocktail recipes, interesting bar add-ons, and the best ways to create a welcoming atmosphere for your friends and family. So, get ready to be inspired, entertained, and motivated to unleash your inner DIY home bar guru. And with that, let's get started with our next episode. Cheers and enjoy. From the Bartender's Secret Sauce website, we learned that the Old Fashioned cocktail is a true legend in the world of mixology. Its roots can be traced back to the early 19th century, making it one of the oldest and most respected classic cocktails out there. This drink has a fascinating history that takes us back to the very beginnings of American mixology. Originally known as the whiskey cocktail, the Old Fashioned started off as a simple blend of whiskey, sugar, water, and bitters. As its popularity grew, mixologists and enthusiasts began experimenting with different variations, leading to the creation of the Old Fashioned as we know it today. The term Old Fashioned was coined in the late 19th century when customers started asking for their whiskey cocktails to be made in the old-fashioned way. This was a nod to the original recipe and a way of distinguishing it from newer, more complex concoctions. The late 1800s saw the cocktail making its way onto the world stage, thanks in part to bartenders like Jerry Thomas, who included a recipe for it in his renowned 1862 cocktail book, How to Mix Drinks. The Old Fashioned's popularity skyrocketed in the following decades. During the Prohibition era in the 1920s, when the production and sale of alcoholic beverages were banned, this cocktail gained a particular fan base. Its simple preparation made it an excellent choice for masking the taste of bootleg alcohol. When Prohibition was finally lifted, the Old Fashioned reclaimed its status as a classic cocktail of choice in the United States. Throughout the 20th century, the Old Fashioned experienced moments of both fame and relative obscurity. However, it truly made a comeback in the early 2000s with the rise of the craft cocktail movement. Bartenders and mixologists revisited classic recipes, putting a spotlight back on this timeless libation. Today, the Old Fashioned remains a symbol of elegance and sophistication in the world of cocktails. Its enduring legacy is a testament to the art of mixing spirits with bitters and sugar, creating a drink that transcends time and captivates the taste buds of cocktail enthusiasts worldwide. Whether sipped in a luxurious cocktail bar or meticulously crafted at home, the Old Fashioned's rich history and extraordinary flavor continue to captivate seasoned connoisseurs and newcomers alike. So, next time you're looking for a cocktail with a story, consider the Old Fashioned. With each sip, you'll be transported back to the early days of American mixology, savoring a piece of liquid history that has stood the test of time. Okay, let's dive into making a classic old-fashioned cocktail. To get started, gather your ingredients: 2 ounces of bourbon or rye whiskey and 1/4 ounce of Bartender's Secret Sauce old-fashioned syrup. Now grab a glass and fill it with ice. Pour the whiskey over the ice, followed by the old-fashioned syrup. Next, it's time to give it a good stir with a bar spoon. Take your time and give it about 10 to 15 seconds of stirring to make sure everything blends together nicely. Once it's nicely mixed, you can add a garnish to enhance the drink. We highly recommend either Collins candied orange twists or Luxardo maraschino cherries. Or why not both if you're feeling fancy? They'll bring a delightful touch to your old-fashioned cocktail. And there you have it. A classic old-fashioned ready to be enjoyed. Sip and savor the flavors and feel free to experiment with different garnishes or variations of whiskey to find your perfect mix. Cheers. Moving on, let's talk about the Jalisco Old Fashioned. It's a delicious cocktail that combines the bold flavors of tequila with a hint of sweetness. To make this drink, you'll need 2 ounces of reposado or añejo tequila. These types of tequila have a smooth and complex taste, which pairs perfectly with the other ingredients in this cocktail. Next, add 1/4 ounce of Bartender's Secret Sauce Old Fashioned cocktail syrup to the mix. This syrup adds a touch of sweetness and enhances the overall flavor of the drink. Once you have these ingredients in your glass, it's time to add some ice. The ice will chill the drink and help to mellow out the flavors. To properly mix everything together, grab a bar spoon and stir the cocktail for about 10 to 15 seconds. This will ensure that the flavors are properly combined, creating a well-balanced drink. Finally, it's time for the finishing touch, the garnish. We recommend using a fresh orange or lime peel and zest, or for a sweeter twist, a Collins candied orange twist. This added touch of citrus will complement the tequila and add a pleasant aroma to your drink. And there you have it, a delicious Jalisco Old Fashioned ready to be enjoyed. Have you ever tried an Oaxaca Old Fashioned? If not, you're missing out on a delicious drink that combines the smoky flavors of mezcal with the smoothness of reposado tequila. Here's how you can make one at home. First, gather your ingredients. You'll need 1.5 ounces of reposado tequila, 1/2 ounce of mezcal, and 1/4 ounce of Bartender's Secret Sauce Old Fashioned syrup. Once you have everything ready, it's time to start mixing. Grab a glass and fill it with ice. The cold ice will help chill your drink and give it that refreshing taste. Next, pour in the 1.5 ounces of reposado tequila and the 1/2 ounce of mezcal. These two spirits are the heart of the drink, giving it that unique flavor profile. Now it's time to add a little sweetness to balance out the smoky notes. Pour in 1/4 ounce of Bartender's Secret Sauce Old Fashioned syrup. This syrup adds a touch of richness and depth to the drink, making it truly special. Once all the ingredients are in the glass, grab a bar spoon and start stirring. Give it a good mix for about 10 to 15 seconds. This will help the flavors meld together, creating a harmonious blend of tequila and mezcal. To finish off the Oaxaca Old Fashioned, add a garnish. We recommend a fresh lime peel zest for a burst of citrus aroma. It not only looks great, but adds a bright, refreshing touch to the drink. And there you have it, a perfectly crafted Oaxaca Old Fashioned. Sip and enjoy the smoky, smooth flavors with a hint of sweetness. All right, let's talk about the classic whiskey sour. This cocktail is a timeless favorite, and here's how you can make it at home. Start off with 2 ounces of your favorite bourbon or rye whiskey. Pour it into a shaker or mixing glass. Next, add in 3/4 of an ounce of fresh lemon juice. This will give your drink that tangy, citrusy flavor. Now, for a secret ingredient that will really elevate your whiskey sour, the Bartender's Secret Sauce Old Fashioned syrup. Measure out 1/2 ounce of this syrup and add it to the mix. This special sauce will add a depth of flavor and a touch of sweetness. Once everything is in the shaker, it's time to add ice. You can either shake the mixture vigorously for about 10-15 seconds or stir it with a bar spoon. The choice is yours, as both methods will give you a great result. Finally, it's time for the finishing touch, the garnish. We recommend a fresh lemon peel zest. It not only adds a pop of color, but also enhances the aroma of the drink. What more can be said? You just created a delicious whiskey sour that is ready to be enjoyed. If you didn't get a chance to write these recipes down, fear not. All 4 of these old-fashioned cocktail recipes can be found on the Bartender Secret Sauce website. Go to www.bartenderssecretsauce.com. Thank you for tuning in to Liquortainment Inc., the podcast where DIY home bar owners can enhance their bar experience and discover the latest brands and products, all inspired by our thriving DIY garage bars, man caves, and more Facebook group of nearly 300,000 members. Join us for future episodes as we dive into the world of DIY garage bars, man caves, and more, exploring all things home bar related and enlightening interviews with brand experts. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Make sure you check out any of the brands we've mentioned on this podcast. By providing us with samples of their products, they are helping us provide you with content for our Facebook group and this podcast. We'd like to see your DIY home bar on our public Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/garagebars.